On Saturday, Cedar Point will open for another summer of fun. But a joint investigation in partnership with 10 Investigates and our sister stations, WTOL in Toledo and WKYC in Cleveland, has found 27 reports of sexual violence dating back 5 years.
They include allegations from women who say they were raped or sexually assaulted at employee dorms while working for Cedar Point. Here's Chief Investigative Reporter Bennett Haberly. Bennett?
Stories. We wanted to be upfront that if this topic is triggering for you, you need to be aware. These incidents of alleged sexual violence occurred at Cedar Point with little consequence to most of the accused, and the women, employees of Cedar Point, claim it's happened without much public acknowledgement or adequate change from the theme park. There's a portion of Sandusky's skyline that's synonymous with summertime fun.
People that I grew up with, Cedar Point was the thing.
There's a portion of young women who lived here and worked at Cedar Point whose plans for a carefree summer were shattered.
I called my mom and I was like, this is like Mother's Day. Like, she shouldn't be able to get this call on Mother's Day. Like, her only daughter, she shouldn't have to worry about this.
Well, the whole time I was trying to kick him off, and he was like hurting my leg, so I couldn't. But then I was thinking in my head, like, what am I gonna do?
My friends, they were all trying to make me feel better. They would drag me out to the club. They just wanted me to be me again. They just wanted me to be happy again, and just me. Unfortunately, I'm never gonna be the same person again.
Since 2017, there have been nearly 30 reports of sexual assaults, rapes, and other sex offenses, many of them tied to the employee dorms at Cedar Point. Those women who've come forward and shared their stories tell us they feel let down by the amusement park. All told, Sandusky Police has taken 27 reports of sexual offenses since 2017. Out of those, 2 men have been charged with sex crimes.
It's unsettling. It's scary. It makes me angry.
Raven Jones told our sister station WKYC in Cleveland that she was sexually assaulted last August by a friend, a male colleague in his employee dorm room. Raven says she had been drinking and smoking with friends earlier. She wound up in a friend's room watching TV, where she says she fell asleep and woke up confused and sore.
My sweater shawl thing was on the floor with my shirt, and I didn't know where my pants were. And I woke up and there was a condom stuck to my leg.
Raven said her friends encouraged her to report it to Cedar Point Police. Sandusky Police took a report, but it would be days, Raven said, before the man she accused would be removed from work, and weeks before she says police followed up.
They had done an interview with him, and they said that he said it was consensual. And this is where I got really angry and upset, because I was like, how in any circumstance could that have been considered consensual?
2 other women, interviewed by our sister station WTOL in Toledo, described similar scenarios of partying in and around the dorms. Both state they were sexually assaulted and left their jobs at Cedar Point feeling let down.
I'm like a heavy sleeper. Like, I don't wake up to alarm clocks. I don't wake up to anything. And I woke up to him inside of me, and I pushed him away, and I just got up and I just left.
Casey Wilson says she was raped during the same weekend as her employee orientation. She left and claims she didn't hear back from the amusement park.
But it was still in their grounds, and they did not contact me saying if I was okay, if I needed anything, because like I was one of their workers, but they clearly did not care.
The man connected to Casey's rape was later convicted of sexual battery and sent to prison. Another employee, who asked to be identified only as L, told WTOL that her attacker left the country after being interviewed by police.
To him, it's like a trophy. I mean, he can just tell his friends that, like, I let him on or something. Like, it's a he said, she said, so I don't even think he's thinking about it.
Last fall, L filed this lawsuit against Cedar Point and its parent company, Cedar Fair, after she says she was raped. In response to that lawsuit, attorneys for Cedar Point have asked a judge to dismiss it, claiming L's argument of a hostile work environment lacks merit. The park's attorneys also said the alleged sexual assault happened outside of her work hours and was a single isolated incident for which the defendants did not and could not have foreseen.
They're claiming they're not liable, but they're letting people live there.
I apologize if things take time, but sometimes things take time, and that's out of our hands.
Sandusky's police chief told my colleagues that things like rape kits take time to analyze, and that in more than half of these sex offense cases, the women stop cooperating with police. Cedar Point has its own police agency, and it's not clear how many additional cases they may have investigated. They haven't responded to a request for information. Sandusky police only get involved when they're alerted by Cedar Point.
If we are called, I say if, we may or may not be called. But if we are called and we go to the scene, then we take over the scene. If there's an arrest that needs to be made, our officers make that arrest.
We're really talking about a perfect storm of risk factors here, right?
10 Investigates took what we learned to Nicole Badera, a sociologist and expert in sexual violence in campus settings. Nicole told us these types of incidents, unfortunately, are quite common.
Social scientists know that sexual violence is incredibly predictable. If you're seeing cases happening in the same place over and over, it's because there is a climate in that space that allows sexual violence to persist.
Cedar Point sent us a lengthy statement, which said in part that it provides resources and that it takes these matters very seriously.
I had gotten to a point where honestly I didn't want to be alive anymore. And I got to that point where I was just like, I can't take it anymore.
Raven says she's not in counseling but needs to be. The Sandusky police case surrounding her alleged assault is still open, and she says she's received no resources from the amusement park.
Cedar Point needs to change a lot, from their security to the relationships that they have with their employees and the way they handle situations.
And the women who came forward alleged they didn't receive adequate help. So we asked Cedar Point about this again this week. They referred us back to their previous statement that didn't directly answer our questions. If you've been the victim of sexual violence, we have resources available on our website at 10tv.com. And if you have a story about this or anything else, you can reach out to the 10 Investigates team at 10investigates@10tv.com.